Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the all-new 2021 Hyundai Sonata NLine. Enjoy the video. Thank you to Crowfoot Hyundai of Calgary, Alberta for letting us borrow the vehicle. If you're interested in any new Hyundai or anything else on their pre-owned lot, the link to their website is right below that like button. The main star of this show is going to be the Hyundai's engine. The NLine has a completely different engine. It's a turbocharged engine compared to the normal engine that you'd find, and let's take a look at it. The 2.5 liter turbo 4 makes 290 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission and puts the power down through a front-wheel drivetrain. Now, if I'm not wrong, that transmission I believe is the exact same one from the Hyundai Veloster N, which is a great transmission, so I'm glad they put it in this thing as well. And moving on to the front end overall, I think the exterior in general is overall a great looking exterior. It depends on certain angles. Certain angles it doesn't look good, but other angles it looks amazing. Starting at the front end, we get the premium LED headlights. Look amazing, and they are premium LED headlights. Your low beam, high beam, signals, daytime running lights are all very nice and unique. And I love how the DRL runs into the chrome strip up the rest of the vehicle, so that looks very nice as well. The NLine front bumper it's exclusive to the NLine model. It's blacked out, nice accents everywhere. The NLine badge that you can see nice and proud. And overall, when you look at the front end, some people refer it to as a catfish, but I personally think it does look pretty good. It's got a nice low and wide, aggressive stance, and anything with good stance, I'm a fan of. Now, taking a look at these wheels and the side profile overall, first of all, I think the side profile is just super clean and smooth. But focusing on the wheels first, they are some of my favorite looking wheels on a production car. The 19-inch exclusive NLine wheels are sitting on 245 series tires. And I just can't say this enough. I'm going to say it again. The wheels are awesome. I love the two-tone color combination. I love the multiple spokes and the twist in them. They look really, really nice. It would have been nice to see some N branding on the brake calipers, but oh well, I'll live with this. There's an NLine badge on the front quarter panel as well, which makes it look kind of nice as well, and it stands out. Doesn't look plain and boring. The overall side profile, you get these really nice lines that go into the rear quarter area, and the overall silhouette of this thing is just beautiful. Now, moving on to the rear, the integrated lip spoiler kind of sits in between the lights. I'm not sure how I really feel about that, but it works out because the lights kind of curve in more as well. They do remind me of Honda Civic rear lights, but you know, it is what it is. We have premium LED tail lights with LED turn signals and reverse, which is awesome to see as well. You know, nice little strip running across the width of the vehicle. The NLine rear bumper is, of course, exclusive to the NLine. You got these black accents towards the lower portion with the splitters as well. The quad tip exhaust, the shape of them could have been a little bit different, but I think overall they do look pretty nice. And since we're at the back and looking at the exhaust here, take a listen to it. Now, the overall sound of the exhaust, it's not too bad. I wish it was a little bit louder, but once again, we've got to know that this is the NLine, and the NLine trims technically are not meant to be full-fledged performance variants. They're meant to be sportier than the normal, and I think it accomplishes what it's seeking out to do. Now, the overall rear end, I think it looks nice for the most part. I'm just not a fan of the taillight area. I think the badging, instead of spelling out Sonata wide, could have been maybe a smaller badge, but that's just my personal opinion. It's not like it's a deal breaker for me, at least. It's a very nice looking rear end. But hey, since we're at the back, let me open up this trunk. Once open, you're going to see just over 15 cubic feet of space. Not a whole lot, but it's pretty competitive to basically any other sedan in this market or category that you would look at. And you also see these little NLine branded carpet floor mats as well. Now, moving on to the interior, I gotta say the first thing I noticed whenever I saw pictures of this thing when it was released were these seats right behind me. I love the two-tone material kind of combination with the leather and the suede. Majority of the seat feels like it is suede, and it looks really nice. I love the N branding, the red piping and the red stitching. They all look extremely beautiful to me. They officially call these Napa leather and suede Dynamica bucket seats with red accents. And I noticed aggressive bolsters as soon as I sat in this thing for the first time, especially kind of where your lats would be, so right underneath your arm area, that it kind of aggressively bolsters out, and it just does a great job in hugging that area in place, I would say. Now the driver's seat has an adjustable bolster, and it's only on the NLine though, but not the passenger seat. So only the driver's seat has the adjustable bolsters on the NLine. And the driver's also is a 8-way power driver's seat, while the passenger seat is a 6-way manual, which I think is kind of a miss because it would have been nice to have power seats for both front passengers, but oh well. Along with that, we do have heated front seats on this. I believe the top trim probably gets cooled seats, but the pricing is fairly similar to the top trim Sonata, so it would have been nice to also see cooled seats, especially in hotter climates. Now moving on to the steering wheel, we do get a manual adjusting leather wrap steering wheel with NLine branding. I love the steering wheel overall. I think it has a nice kind of unique 4-spoke design to it. I also really like how the buttons are a matte finish and there's nothing glossy black for you to mess up or get your fingerprints all over. I like the red stitching on the steering wheel, the perforations. It's a really nice feeling steering wheel, and it feels nice in the hands whenever you grab it onto it. Now when you look behind the steering wheel, you're going to get a 12.3-inch digital gauge. It's configurable and it's got pretty good graphics. Whenever you switch your driver's mode, you can see them basically, customize over. And I'm not sure if I like the white ones more or the carbon fiber red ones, because they both look nice. Maybe a higher refresh rate screen would have been a little bit nicer on this one, so the transitions would have been nicer. But overall though, I think it looks pretty nice. Now when you move along to the center console area, now I love the way that the vents are designed. It looks very nice and classy and kind of elegant as well. Even though they're kind of like its own piece, they never tried to integrate it anywhere else, but I think the way they designed them makes it look really, really nice. Now moving on to the lower portions of that, you're going to see your dual zone climate control, hashtag save the knobs. I gotta say, I'm glad we have knobs for this. And the buttons overall, I think they're nice feeling. For the steering wheel button, for the heated steering wheel button, they have a nice kind of satisfying click to it. The heated seat button, a nice tactile feeling whenever you're moving them up and down. And even the fan speed controls, like it's just very nice and tactile. I'm glad they're actual hard buttons instead of just a touch capacitors. Moving on lower from the HVAC controls, you're gonna have your center console storage area. I would say you have a wireless charger to the right side. You're gonna get a 180 watt 12 volts, or same thing basically, power outlet. You have your key indicator, you have a USB, a couple of USBs actually, one for your charging capabilities and the other for your phone setups and hookups for your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Now the shifter area is probably my least favorite part about the interior in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of how it sticks out. I think it could have been more integrated, and this part is all glossy black as well. You got a nice little end badge. The buttons are easy to press. Moving on to the lower portions, you're going to get your drive mode selector, and it's a nice kind of tactile feel as well whenever you do that, so I like that portion. And if you move right beside the shifter area, you're going to have your cup holders. Now this material has a different kind of slippery but matte look feel to it. The gray, I don't know what shape you would call this or what it is, but I would prefer this material all over. Maybe even the shifter area would have looked nicer. You have your cup holders, which definitely feel nice. You even have a phone holder in between that. Like, I wish every car did that. The phone holder thing is genius in my opinion, and the way that they do it. Now if you move towards your center console area, you're going to notice how great the material feels and the red stitching going along it as well. Once you open this baby up, you're going to get some pretty decent storage. Not a whole lot, but you can stuff some secret things in there. Now moving on to the infotainment system. Now we do get a 10.25-inch 1920 by 720 resolution screen. It does have navigation, of course, and I think overall it's not bad. I would prefer to have actual buttons instead of touch buttons on the infotainment section, but I think that's the only section of this car that has not real buttons. But it doesn't look that bad at all. The infotainment's UI is very nice. I love the sounds of nature screen, which is said a lot in a lot of areas, but overall though, you can hear me clicking through these things. It just looks very nice. The backup camera is probably the worst part of the infotainment. The resolution is pretty bad, but once again, if you look at most of the other cars in this segment, majority of them have pretty bad camera resolutions for the back. Of course, it's going to have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay like you would expect. But overall, I would say it's a pretty usable UI. It's a nice big screen for the size of the car as well. And of course, with your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay capabilities, you're going to be more than satisfied. And it's not glitchy at all, I would say. The way it moves around is pretty simple. And yeah, you know, no other complaints other than that. And unfortunately, I didn't get to spend too much time with this car, so it's tough for me to let you know exactly really how it is. But overall, I would say it's for, you know, first impressions, it's a pretty good use. All right, now moving on to the rear seats. Now the rear seats are just like the front. You have that two-tone combination of the leather and suede, and I absolutely love it. The interior seats are just my favorite part about this car. They feel comfortable. I'm 6'1", if you didn't know. If you're new, welcome. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully that gives you a better idea of rear space, at least as much as you can tell from a video. You do have these rear ducts in the center console area, which is a win. You have a USB in the center portion there as well. The outboard seats in the rear are two-stage heated, and the door panel themselves, it looks similar to basically how the front door panels look. So good quality feeling material, and you know, even the seats have these nice red stitching everywhere. And I would say because of the shape of this thing, it feels a little bit tighter, but overall, I really don't mind spending that much time in here for a road trip. Now, we've taken a look at everything about this car. Let's go for our drive and see what the NLine is all about. How do you like the Hyundai Sonata NLine?
It's good, comfortable, lots of legroom for me.
Yeah, it's because they're like 5 something.
It's okay. Also, the wind's nice.
The what's nice?
The wind, like it's nice.
Oh, okay.
And I could take a nap in here.
Okay, cool.
Interview, you know?
All right, everybody, time to start our drive. Now I'm in a pretty, you know, low neighborhood. I can't really do that much over here, but I put it in Sport Plus mode because, you know, of course, why not? That's what we got to do. Let's try to get onto some main road. Now, when you go into Sport Plus mode, it automatically takes it off of the traction controls, so you have no traction at all, and you'll see why that might be, you know, an issue, I guess. But overall, actually, let's go. Yes, let's go this way. But overall, when it drives, it's like very spacious feeling, especially for the leg portion area. It feels like I have a lot of space. So right now, kind of the seat is all the way down, basically, and as low as it will go. And obviously, you can see I have like maybe an inch or maybe inch and a half above my head for space, but wow. Does it want me to shift my own gears? It does hold the gear pretty well. So, you know, it's fun. It's just we don't have a faster road to kind of go on right now. And we promised Crowfoot Hyundai that we're not going to put a lot of kilometers on this thing, because it's a brand new vehicle, obviously. And, you know, they're our family here for helping us out. Or they are. And obviously we don't want to, you know, we want to keep on getting Hyundais to film and review for them, and you know, we don't want to make them mad. So that's why we're going to do a smaller driving portion. But overall, let me switch it to comfort mode now, especially because I'm not really in any, you know, crazy street. But yeah, we're going to go into normal mode. There's not really a comfort mode. It's normal, sport, and sport plus. And the custom basically lets you choose what you want to do. But the normal is enough, you know. The normal, you'll immediately notice that it feels kind of slower when you're pressing it, you know, giving it more gas. And yeah, it does feel the same in terms of suspension level. It doesn't feel like it's more adapted in any way, but yeah, bumpy though. Yeah, so in normal mode, like, you got to give it way more gas to get the same feeling that you would in like Sport Plus, for example, which is to be expected. But the drive, the exterior noise coming inside is very little. It does feel pretty bumpy. You know, it's a little bit lower to the ground and all that. But here we have some open road finally. Okay, you guys ready? That was fun. Did you guys hear that? Enough said. You know, that was a nice aggressive pull too, and you could hear how the RPMs are still holding at 3,000 here, in case you want to keep going. But yeah, no, that's awesome. You know, the pull is very, very strong. You know, I've driven the Accord 2.0, and this does feel much stronger. Of course, it's got more power too, but yeah, I'm definitely impressed and not disappointed. You know, the hype kind of lives up to its name, in my opinion. And, you know, sorry I didn't give you more of an in-depth review. I just don't have too much time with this thing, unfortunately. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. You know what to do if you did. Take it easy. Peace.